Welcome to the Google Calendar Creating Events training video. This video, I will warn you, will probably be a little longer than the other ones within this section because there are so many different pieces that go into creating events, and I want to make sure that I cover all of it very clearly. So, all right, you have multiple ways to create events within Calendar. One, if you are in, let's say, week view, and then the little red line tells you exactly what time it is and where you are in time, you can, so let's say, go up to 8 o'clock. I can double click and it pops up. I'm going to disregard. You can also click once and you can do a quick add. So you can just click on what is it, type in what it is. You can tell which calendar it goes, and then you can click create event. If you want to get more details into it, then you can go ahead and edit everything. Notice that its default is going to be 8 o'clock to 8:15 because if you were watching the general settings video, we changed the default time length of time to 15 minutes for events. And so that default time shows up when I do a quick add. I'm going to go ahead and click on edit event. So we go to the full view. You can add the event title here and change whatever title you happen to do. The date should automatically populate because you clicked on day. If you don't click on a day, so let's go ahead and do that, and you click on create, it's going to default to the day in which you're working on right now. So whatever the date is, it's going to put on that. But let's do tomorrow's date. And notice that 8/6 populated because I clicked on tomorrow's date instead of today. So you go in and put the beginning time is going to be whatever you clicked on or whatever time of day it happens to be. If you click on create, it's going to populate the time current delay is. You can, of course, change that, scrolling up and down. So let's go ahead and change to 7:30. You can change the end time, and if you want to get more exact, so let's say we're going to end at 7:50 instead of 7:45. So just because you defaulted to 15-minute intervals does not mean you have to keep to them. You can change that as you want, and you can also change that date. So let's make it it's going to be actually till Friday at 7:50 a.m. You can say this is going to be an all-day event. I would do that before you change times because that knocks out the time piece there, right? And if you're going to repeat something, you can repeat it, and then it asks you how often do you want to repeat it, weekly, monthly, every Tuesday, Thursday, that sort of thing. How often do you want it to repeat for X number of days, that kind of thing. Okay, we're going to take that off. I don't want it to repeat. Okay. You can enter a location if you want to, and this actually does populate with Google Maps. So if you start typing in an address, so we'll say 1260 Craig. You can put that there, and when you actually submit the event, it will have a link toward maps. So if you need to know how to get to places, you can do that. You can also put obviously library or our classroom, that kind of thing. They did change something recently. It used to be that automatically a video call was added. Now it changed to where you can add a video call. So if it happens to be like a hangout that you're going to have with a coworker that's not in your building, you can go and add this call here. Another very important piece of creating an event, the calendar. It will default to your main calendar unless you have another calendar being shown by itself. So let's go ahead and discard this for a second so I can show you what I mean here. So discard, and we are going to get rid of my basic calendar. So it's not highlighted, just the training calendar is highlighted. And I'm going to go ahead and double click and open an event. Notice that training is here. It will default to whatever calendar happens to be high up on this length here. And birthdays and task calendars, those are defaults that you don't really add things to, so it won't default to those. But so that's why I went to the training calendar. You can still change this to my calendar. And notice that the birthdays and the tasks was not there. You can still change it to calendar. This helps you determine which calendar, what color the event's going to actually be. Now, you can also change the color if you don't want it to be this typical color and that goes with that calendar. So if I'd rather it be green, I can actually change it to green. Notice that the default color of that calendar, the orange, is the first one that's right there. If you want to add attachments, Google Docs, PowerPoints, Word documents, PDFs, whatever you want, you click on add attachments there, and you can add as many attachments as you would like. You can add videos, you can add anything in there, so it's very helpful to do that. You can also add notifications. I believe I have a default set of no notifications because otherwise, if I forget to turn those off, every event I create has a notification. You have options when it comes to notifications. You can do a pop-up, just a pop-up reminder, or you can actually have it send you an email. The pop-up is helpful if you happen to be on the if you happen to be on your machine. If you happen to be using a mobile device and you are you're out and about and you don't get an email on your phone letting you know you have an event come up. A pop-up won't show up on your phone. And then, of course, you can tell it 10 minutes, 60 minutes, 10 hours, 10 days before the actual event, and you can click on here again. You can actually have multiple notifications as well. And then show your availability, so available or busy. So if it's something that you may attend or that you just want on your calendar so you know it's happening, but you can still schedule over it, you can put yourself as available. If you put yourself as busy, then it's going to kind of remind you, hey, this is going to back up or go through another event that you already have. And then you also can make your calendar default for visibility, public or private. Now what this means is, so let's say you have a calendar that is shared with other people, and you can still make an event private to where other people see it. So if I have share with my coworker, and I create an event that I am having a meeting with a parent that my coworker does not necessarily need to know, I can make this private, and it will only show up on my calendar. It won't show up on their calendar. So that kind of helps make things a little easier. Sometimes you use it, sometimes don't. It depends. Here's where you can add guests. So if you want to go ahead and add this to other people's calendars or see if they want to come, you can enter their email address here and then click on add. It will send an email to them. You can give them different rights that they can actually modify the event. They can actually invite others, or they can see the guest list. Usually I just take that off and they can see the guest list. Or sometimes I take that off too, and they just know that they're coming to the event. So many different options within you're creating an event. I love the calendar. I use it quite often. I use it mobilely and I use it on machines, so I highly recommend it. Again, apologize for the length of this video, but this is very important, and I wanted to make sure you guys got a good understanding of the material. So that is creating creating appointments within Google Calendar.